So let's dive in. In IFS, exiles are the parts of us that carry our earliest pain and deepest vulnerability. They're often young, 5-year-old you on the playground, 7-year-old you in the hallway, or maybe they come as a teenage you, sitting alone in your room. And they hold the emotional weight of moments when you felt shamed or humiliated, rejected or abandoned, terrified, overwhelmed, or invisible. Because those moments were often too much and too lonely. Your system did something incredibly intelligent. It said, we can't feel this all the time. We have to put this somewhere. So those tender parts got pushed away. They're still in the system, still alive, still carrying those feelings. But it's like they were sent to the basement and told, stay down there. Don't come up. If you come upstairs, everything might fall apart. Now, these exiles didn't choose this because they wanted to be hidden. They were exiled because your system was trying to survive. When you're 12 and being bullied, you can't afford to feel the full weight of that rejection every single day and still function. So the system does what it needs to do. It compartmentalizes, it protects, it exiles. And here's what's important to understand. This was adaptive. This was your psyche doing exactly what it needed to do to help you survive. The problem is, what was adaptive at 7 or 12 or 15 even can become limiting at 35 or 45. Because those exiles are still down there, still holding those beliefs, still carrying that pain. And they're still affecting how you show up in the world today. That's where protectors come in. Protectors are the parts of you that say, I'll do whatever it takes so we never have to feel that again. They might show up as perfectionism. If I can just be flawless, no one will reject me. Overfunctioning, if I'm indispensable, I'll never be abandoned. People pleasing, if I can keep everyone happy, I'll be safe. Numbing with screens, food, alcohol, or work. If I stay distracted, the pain can't catch up. A harsh inner critic that's constantly evaluating you. If I beat you to it, their criticism won't hurt as much. On the surface, these parts can look like problems, bad habits you're trying to fix, character flaws you're trying to overcome. But from an IFS lens, they're loyal guardians. They're standing guard at the basement door saying, you're not getting near them. If that old shame or terror comes flooding back, we're not sure you'll survive. And here's the thing, they're not wrong to be concerned. When you were young and those wounds happened, you genuinely might not have survived. Emotionally, psychologically, if you'd felt the full weight of them. So these protectors stepped up. They said, we've got this. We'll manage the world. We'll keep you safe. And they've been doing that job, often for decades. If you've been feeling stuck in cycles of reactivity or self-criticism, it makes sense. You've likely been working with protectors who believe they're doing life or death work. They're not being difficult, they're being devoted. So when we talk about exiles, we're not talking about some abstract inner child idea. We're talking about real, tender, living parts of you that your system has been protecting for a long time. And we're talking about protectors who have been working overtime, trying to make sure you never have to feel that overwhelmed again. Let me ground this in a story from my own life. There have been seasons when I notice a sharp, disproportionate reaction whenever I feel even slightly left out. Maybe it's something small, friends making plans in a group chat, and I wasn't included. Someone at a gathering or a meeting walking past me to greet someone else first. A message left on read for a little too long. On the surface, no big deal. Adult me knew and knows that. Rationally, I understand that people have their own lives, their own reasons, their own things going on. But inside, I feel this wave of shame and panic that was completely out of proportion to the situation. My protectors jump in fast. One says, "Fine, we don't need them anyway," and starts withdrawing. Another spins up stories. "See, you're always on the outside. You don't really belong. This is just proof of what you've always known." For a while, I only worked with those protectors, trying to be less reactive, think differently, care less. I'd tell myself, and still do sometimes, "You're being ridiculous. Grow up. Stop being so sensitive." But eventually, with some support from a therapist and self-led people and friends, I've started to turn inward with more curiosity and less criticism. And underneath those protectors, I meet younger parts of me. And with me, often my protectors are 7, and those exiles are 4, sometimes younger. But those young ones of me standing on the edge of a group of kids who were laughing together. And that little one in me held the belief, if they really see me, they'll decide I don't belong. And the feeling that has lived in that exile wasn't mild. It was crushing loneliness and shame, like something is fundamentally wrong with me, and I'm going to be on the outside forever. And as I've built trust with my protectors and have gone to those young, tender ones of me, I see no wonder my protectors have been working overtime. They weren't trying to sabotage my relationships or make me miserable. They were trying to protect that little boy from ever having to stand outside the circle again. They were trying to save him and me from that unbearable feeling of being seen and found wanting.